Have you ever wondered why the most advanced fighter jet ever built can't actually talk to its own teammates? Or why this $350 million war machine was grounded because it was literally suffocating its pilots? Well, buckle up, because the F-22 Raptor isn't the invincible sky god you think it is. Not even close. Today, we're counting down 15 weird facts about America's stealth fighter that'll make you question everything you thought you knew about air superiority. 15. Price tag insanity. Look, I get it. Military hardware is expensive. Makes sense, right? Wrong. Dead wrong. Each F-22 Raptor costs $350 million. That's not a typo. To put that in perspective, that's more than the jet's empty weight in solid gold. You could buy 150 Ferraris, 10 luxury mansions, or fund a small country's annual budget with that kind of money. The Air Force originally wanted 750 of these birds. Congress looked at the bill and said, absolutely not. They capped production at 187 aircraft. The development costs were so astronomical that shutting down the production line actually saved money. Think about that. It became cheaper to stop building them than to continue. That's why when you see an F-22 flying overhead, you're watching roughly $500 million of taxpayer money slicing through the clouds. 14. Banned from export. Here's something that'll surprise you. America's closest allies, countries we've fought alongside for decades, literally cannot buy this jet. Japan wanted them. Israel begged for them. Australia tried everything short of sending kangaroos as bribes. Congress said no to everyone. In 1998, they passed the Obey Amendment, making it illegal to export the F-22 to anyone, anywhere, ever. Not because of money, not because of politics, pure paranoia about technology leaking to adversaries. Meanwhile, we happily sell F-35s, F-15, and F-16 to dozens of countries. But the Raptor? Too sensitive, too advanced, too secret. The irony is brutal. Our allies had to buy inferior jets or wait decades for alternatives, while the F-22 sat in American hangars. Some defense experts argue this actually weakened our alliances because partner nations couldn't operate alongside our most capable aircraft. The plane designed to dominate the skies became a prisoner of its own superiority. 13. Oxygen system scandal. This one's genuinely disturbing. Starting around 2008, F-22 pilots started experiencing something terrifying. Mid-flight, they'd get dizzy, disoriented, confused. Some blacked out. Others made emergency landings barely conscious. The jet was slowly suffocating the people flying it. The culprit was the OBOGS system, the onboard oxygen generation system that's supposed to keep pilots breathing at high altitude, but it kept failing, delivering contaminated air or not enough oxygen. Pilots reported neurological symptoms, some permanent. The Air Force initially dismissed complaints, suggested it was pilot error or anxiety. It took years of investigation, congressional hearings, and pilots publicly refusing to fly before they acknowledged the problem. Captain Jeff Haney died in a 2010 crash that was later linked to oxygen deprivation. The fleet was nearly grounded. Trust between pilots and their machines evaporated. They finally implemented fixes, but the damage to morale was done. Imagine flying the world's deadliest fighter while wondering if it's going to kill you first. 12. Stealth coating. Nightmare. That sleek, sinister surface that makes the F-22 invisible to radar? It's basically held together with hopes and prayers. The radar-absorbent material coating is so fragile that rain can damage it. I'm not joking, heavy rain. The kind that happens literally all the time. Each F-22 requires climate-controlled hangars because temperature swings and humidity mess with the coating. After every single flight, maintenance crews spend hours inspecting and repairing the skin. We're talking 30 to 40 hours of maintenance for every hour of flight time. Compare that to an F-16, which needs about 20 hours per flight hour, or commercial aircraft that need maybe 10. The coating is so sensitive that mechanics wear special gloves and use specific tools to avoid scratching it. Bird strikes? Potential stealth compromise. Hail? Nightmare scenario. The most advanced fighter on Earth needs to be babied like a show car, and if that coating gets too damaged, the jet loses its primary advantage and becomes a really expensive radar-visible target. 11. No helmet-mounted display. Get this, the F-22, America's premier air superiority fighter, the pinnacle of aviation technology, doesn't have helmet-mounted displays. You know what does? The F-35. That's right, the jet everyone loves to criticize has better pilot interface technology than the almighty Raptor. F-22 pilots still rely on heads-up displays projected on the windscreen like it's 1995, because, well, it basically is 1995 technology. The F-22's avionics were locked in during the late 1990s, and upgrading them now would cost billions. So pilots literally have to turn their entire heads to look at targets instead of just moving their eyes. In a dogfight where split seconds matter, that's a significant disadvantage. Modern helmet-mounted systems let pilots look at a target and the jet's weapons automatically track their line of sight. F-22 pilots? They're doing it old school. The Air Force knows it's a problem, but retrofitting 187 aircraft with new helmet systems, rewiring, recoding software? The price tag made them physically ill, so they just accepted obsolescence. 10. Super Cruise superpower. Now here's where the F-22 actually earns its reputation. This beast can cruise at supersonic speeds without using afterburners. Let that sink in. Every other fighter jet needs afterburners to break the speed of sound, which guzzles fuel like a college kid at free beer night. The F-22 just casually maintains Mach 1.5 or higher on regular engine power. This isn't just a cool party trick. In combat, it means the Raptor can sustain high speeds for extended periods, cover massive distances, and still have fuel to fight. Afterburners light you up on infrared like a Christmas tree and drain your tanks in minutes. Super Cruise keeps you fast, efficient, and relatively stealthy. The Raptor can literally run down any enemy fighter trying to escape, or bug out faster than anything chasing it. 9. Raptor cough. Remember that oxygen problem from Fact 13? Well, it got a nickname. Pilots started calling it Raptor cough, and it became the stuff of nightmares in the fighter community. Even after the initial OBOGS fixes, pilots kept experiencing hypoxia-like symptoms. Shortness of breath, confusion, memory loss, emotional problems. Some pilots developed long-term neurological issues that ended their careers. The scariest part? It was unpredictable. You could fly 10 missions perfectly fine, then on the 11th, boom, your brain starts shutting down at 40,000 feet. The psychological toll was devastating. And then imagine strapping into the world's most capable fighter jet while genuinely afraid it might scramble your brain before you land. Some pilots requested transfers. Others left the Air Force entirely. Families watched their loved ones suffer mysterious symptoms that doctors couldn't fully explain. 8. Hidden gun placement. That 20mm cannon mounted in the F-22, you can't even see it until the jet's ready to fire. The gun is hidden behind a stealth door on the right side of the fuselage, and that door only opens when the pilot pulls the trigger. Why? Because even a small opening or protrusion can compromise radar cross-section. Stealth demanded this weird design choice. But here's the problem. Every time that door opens and closes, it affects accuracy. The gun isn't getting continuous airflow, the door mechanism adds weight and complexity, and maintenance is a nightmare. Compare this to literally every other fighter ever built, where the gun is just mounted externally or in a fixed position. F-15S, F-16S, even the ancient MiG-21 just have their cannons out there, ready to go. 7. Electronic warfare beast. Here's where things get genuinely scary for America's adversaries. The F-22's ALR-94 passive sensor system is so powerful it can detect enemy radar emissions from over 250 miles away. That's before the enemy even knows the Raptor exists. But it gets better. The jet can jam enemy radars while remaining completely invisible. It's like having a ghost that can also blind you. Most fighters need dedicated electronic warfare aircraft flying alongside them for this kind of capability. The F-22 just does it solo. The system is so sensitive it can identify specific aircraft types by their radar signatures from hundreds of miles out. Enemy pilots don't just lose the fight, they lose it without ever understanding what happened. Their radars go haywire, their missiles won't lock, their situational awareness collapses. 6. Thrust vectoring magic. The F-22's engines can literally change the direction they're pointing while in flight. Those rectangular exhaust nozzles, they can tilt up and down about 20 degrees in a split second. This is called thrust vectoring, and it breaks the normal rules of physics that govern aircraft. Most fighters turn by using control surfaces, wings, rudders, that kind of thing. The Raptor can point its raw engine thrust in different directions, allowing maneuvers that should be aerodynamically impossible. It can perform the Cobra maneuver, where the jet essentially stands on its tail in mid-air. It can maintain control well beyond normal stall speeds. In a dogfight, which rarely happens anymore but still could, this makes the F-22 untouchable. An enemy pilot tries to get behind the Raptor, and suddenly it just pivots in mid-air like it's mocking the laws of motion. 5. First kill was a balloon. After more than 20 years of operational service, after being designed to dominate the most advanced enemy fighters, after hundreds of billions in development costs, the F-22 Raptor finally got its first air-to-air kill in February 2023. The target? A Chinese weather balloon drifting off the coast of South Carolina. You cannot make this up. An F-22 fired a $400,000 AIM-9X Sidewinder missile at a balloon. A balloon that was moving at maybe 60 miles per hour, probably filled with helium and meteorological instruments. The internet had an absolute field day. Memes flooded social media showing the Raptor as the most overqualified hunter in history. It's like using a flamethrower to light a birthday candle. But here's the thing. The mission required high-altitude capability, and the F-22 could safely reach the balloon and ensure the debris fell in controlled waters. 4. Software nightmare. The F-22 runs on over 1.7 million lines of code. Sounds impressive until you realize it's a prison. The software is so complex and interwoven that updating one system risks breaking 3 others. In 2007, the entire first deployment to Japan nearly failed when jets crossed the international dateline and their navigation systems crashed. They had to be talked back to Hawaii by tanker aircraft. Software updates require months of testing and can ground the fleet. The code is written in outdated languages that fewer programmers understand each year. Modern smartphones get updates weekly. The F-22? It's essentially running on Windows 95 equivalent, and nobody knows how to safely upgrade it without risking billion-dollar disasters. 3. Sensor fusion overload. The F-22's sensor fusion gives pilots a god's eye view of the battlefield. Every radar, every sensor, every data point combines into one coherent picture. Sounds perfect, right? Except pilots can actually suffer from information overload. The jet feeds so much data simultaneously that human brains struggle to process it all during high-stress combat. New pilots especially report feeling overwhelmed, paralyzed by choices, drowning in information when they need to make split-second decisions. The training curve is brutal. It takes years to master efficiently filtering what matters from the flood of data. Ironically, older fighters with simpler systems sometimes allow faster decision-making because pilots aren't buried under information avalanches. The F-22 gives you everything, which sometimes means giving you too much. 2. No, two-seater exists. Every modern fighter has a trainer variant. The F-15 has the F-15E, the F-16 has the F-16D. Even ancient MiGs had two-seat trainers. The F-22? Nothing. 0. Not a single two-seat trainer was ever built. Every pilot learns to fly this $350 million jet by actually flying the real combat aircraft. There's no instructor sitting behind them, no safety net. The Air Force decided building trainer variants was too expensive, so they rely entirely on simulators for initial training. But simulators can't replicate everything. The G-forces, the real fear, the actual feel of the jet. F-22 pilots joke that their first solo flight is also their first flight, period. It's like learning to drive a Formula One car without ever sitting in a normal car first. 1. Can't talk to other jets. Here it is, the most insane fact. The F-22's communication systems are so secure, so encrypted, so advanced that they literally cannot talk to other aircraft. The IFDL data link only works between Raptors. Want to coordinate with F-15, F-16, F-35, or Allied fighters? Too bad. The F-22 has to break radio silence and use outdated voice communications, which compromises stealth. In exercises, F-22s often fight alone because integrating them with other aircraft is a nightmare. The jet designed for network-centric warfare can't actually network with anyone. Allied forces can't receive its targeting data. It can't receive theirs. The most advanced fighter ever built is functionally isolated by its own technology. Enemy fighters would love this irony. America's ultimate weapon handicapped because it's too superior to talk to its friends. And there you have it. 15 weird facts proving the most advanced fighter jet ever built is also the most complicated mess in the skies. Did these surprise you? Drop your thoughts below, smash that like button, and subscribe for more aviation deep dives. We'll see you in the clouds.